former world champion Greg Haugen. What makes Floyd Mayweather so effective at what he does?
Well, he's got speed. He's smart. He's just a good fighter. He's an all-around good fighter. He's got skills at the defensive part of the fight, and he's got great skills on the offensive side. So, he's smart. So the only thing that can be worse than that is if he was southpaw. So, he's just a smart guy. He's got speed, and he's going to be tough to beat. And I think, with this Cotto fight, it's just a retread of the Pacquiao fight. I mean, these guys just seem to continue to fight, mediocre guys that, are still up in the top of the game, but, everybody's clamoring for the Pacquiao-Mayweather fight, and it's unfortunate we got to look at, watch all this other bullshit before we can, see the fight everybody wants to see.
Yeah, so you don't give Miguel any chance at all, huh?
If he came out and landed a good shot in the first couple rounds, then he might have a chance. But no, I don't see. He's just it's been a year and a half since he got beat up by Pacquiao, and or maybe longer. So he's that much older, that much slower. Floyd could, he could be like Hopkins here along the lines. I mean, because eventually, your age catches up with you. Bernard was in the gym all the time, so you was able to kind of keep it. But, who knows when his, father time is going to catch up with Floyd. He is getting up to an age, he's, 37, 38? Something like that.
Well, Floyd is 35, I think, or 36. Maybe.
Yeah, I think, I think it's going to be pretty much, a washout where Floyd wins every round, and then he stops him in about the 6th, 7th round, and ends his misery.
Mm-hmm. So you predict a stoppage, huh?
Yeah, I think so. I think, Floyd's just too quick, puts them together pretty good, and, the way Cotto comes at you, he's right there in front of you to get hit. So I think, I think the uppercut's going to be a big weapon for Floyd. Maybe that uppercut left hook, something like that, because, Cotto's going to be trying to get inside on him. That's where he's going to have to try to fight him, and, Floyd's smart enough to keep him outside. So, yeah, I think probably 6th, 7th round, they stop it.
Yeah, that's pretty much.
Floyd's, hands down the best fighter out there. I think the only guy that's going to give him a chance, or, is going to give him a fight is Sergio. I think the Pacquiao fight won't happen because fucknut Bob Arum, who's, screwing him, doesn't want to lose his golden ticket, he doesn't want to see Pacquiao get knocked out, so he's not going to let the Pacquiao fight Floyd. So, I think the only guy out there that really has a legitimate shot to beat, Floyd would be Sergio, because, he's a southpaw, and he's getting up there in age, but, I don't think Sergio's been through any wars, and, that helps a lot. So, I think after Sergio knocked out Chavez Jr., maybe we can see that fight made, because we won't have Bob Arum sticking his nose in it.
Do you think Bob would risk Chavez Jr. against Sergio? That's a big meet.
Well, I guess the fight's already been made from what I'm reading.
Oh, yeah? We'll see.
Yeah, I do. Bob's taking enough heat, and, and Chavez Jr. isn't the cash cow that Pacquiao is for Bob. So, maybe he would be in Mexico or something on pay-per-view, but, I don't see, Chavez Jr. putting up the kind of numbers that Manny does. I think, I just think, I think Chavez Jr. is a pretty boring fighter. I mean, he's a tall kid. In his fights to stay on the outside, and I don't know. I haven't been too impressed by anything that I've seen from him yet, but he's still a kid, so we'll see. But I think the fight with Sergio and Chavez has already been made from what I'm hearing, and then I think after Sergio knocks out the kid, and hopefully we'll get Sergio to be able to fight Floyd, because we won't have Bob Arum, the satanic devil sticking his nose in there. So he just Bob's bad for the game. He's real bad for the game right now, and it's unfortunate because we're not getting to see some of the better fights out there that could be made. And and Bob's got enough money. He's passing the business on to Buff, I guess, or his stepson. So I think Bob's got enough money where he should be able to just step up and put Manny out in there with Floyd. And and as far as the bullshit goes, Floyd's, I will give him a 60-40 and 70-30, and it's got to be 50-50. Floyd knows it, Manny knows it, and so hopefully before both of them one of them get beat, and I think it'll be Manny before Floyd, because I thought Manny lost that last fight against Marquez.
Yeah.
That was just my opinion. I thought he lost the fight, but the fight needs to get made before one of them get beat. I think it'll be Manny.
Mm-hmm. How many of those Marquez fights do you think he lost? Do you think he lost 2 out of 3?
Oh, I thought, yeah. I think he might have. I think he only won one of them. I just, it's what happens when you got a big promoter on your side, and he's picking the judges, and you're making sure your guy wins. Bob's got a lot of control in this sport. He's been controlling it for. I fought for Bob back in the '80s. It was him and Don King.
Yeah.
Everybody was bitching and moaning about what a bad guy Don was. Well, Bob's just a white Don King.
Yeah.
That's what it boils down to. If you look at it, he's a white Don King. So, he's been around the game a long time. So I'm hoping that him and his little stepson are going to get run out of business here pretty quick, and we can start, the public can start demanding fights that, should be made. Like back in the day, you had Hearns fighting Leonard when they're both at their prime peak.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas if we get the Mayweather-Pacquiao fight, we might get it when one of them's on the downside. And that's not fair to the public. So it's just, there's a lot of good fights out there that could be made, like, Andre Ward with, Kessler and them. There's some bigger weight guys that could be making some fights. But, the public wants to see, but it's just, it's not getting done because, the promoters are afraid to put their golden cash cow ticket, out there to get beat. So it's unfortunate right now.
Yeah, it's a shame is what it is.
Yeah, it is. It is. It's unfortunate, but, that's what happens when you got some bad people running the sport.
Mm-hmm.
Because, we need a national commission. Every state's got different laws and different rules, and half of these dumb fuckers don't know, like in Washington State, they got a boxing commission and a wrestling commission. They're both the same. So one guy's more really into wrestling than into boxing, and there's just a lot of these, dumb shits out there that are running the game into the ground because they don't know what they're doing. It's unfortunate. This is a sport that's been around for well over 100 years, and we've taken some hits over the years. If somebody dies, everybody's, we got to ban boxing, or we start getting some bad decisions like we've seen lately. Everybody starts calling for, ban of boxing. So we just need to get the right people in there and start, start doing it the right way, because like for the national our amateur program. We suck. I mean, you know, what's the last Olympics? We took a bronze medal, worst showing ever. I mean, and we don't, you know, we don't have much, much hope for this next one. So I just think we're going down the wrong road. We need some smart guys in here that love the sport. They're, you know, diehard Sweet Science fans and know what they're talking about, and then we can start making some progress. But until then, we're going to be screwed. So I don't know.
Yeah.
Just your, you know, your articles and stuff. You're doing a good job, man.